Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I am reviewing the Blue Spark Digital, a condenser microphone from Blue. Now some of you will be familiar with me mentioning Blue before. Not only have I reviewed their Blue Mikey before, but I actually own one of their microphones already, and I'll just swing it round here on my boom arm. This is my Blue Yeti with a pop filter. Quite a lot of people generally sort of see, if you're going to get a kind of standalone sort of studio quality microphone for YouTube recording, the Blue Yeti seems to be quite a popular microphone. It's priced around about £100, the Blue Yeti it is, and it has various recording pattern features which you can use, which makes it very popular. The Spark is a lot smaller. It retails at around about £140 on Amazon, and it does have the option to connect natively to an iPad or an iPhone, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. So basically what I'm going to try and do with this review is sort of see why you should get, say, the Spark Digital over a Blue Yeti. What's the difference? Is it worth the extra £40? Or, you know, in what situations would the Spark be better than the Yeti? So let's have a look at it. Ta-da! This is the Blue Spark Digital. Now, there is also a Blue Spark version of this, which instead of it being connecting via USB at the bottom, it has an XLR feature, so you can plug it into external audio equipment and what have you. I'm a USB kind of dude. I haven't got into all the XLR kind of stuff, so this suits me fine. So there really isn't much to it. Compared to the Yeti, it is a lot smaller, as you can see. Now this is its stand that it comes on. It comes with its own shock mount. Personally, I'm not necessarily a fan of the stand. I do find it kind of a bit annoying at times. It's not, you know, that flexible to be able to position it really close to your mouth. I'll show that by just, you know, if you move it up like that, you guess you could kind of have it on your desk like that, but you have to be really low. You can pop it up a little bit like that. But to be honest, it's probably just going to sit in front of you like that. It has a range reasonably this sort of distance from your face. I don't know what that is, probably 8 to 18 inches probably. Pretty reasonable distance there for you. But anyway, I'll continue unscrewing it from its mount. You can buy separately another shock mount, which you can then mount to, say, something like a podcasting arm, which I have over there for my Blue Yeti. And of course you'll probably want to buy a pop filter, which I use that one very briefly in a microphone test, which I'll show you between this and the Blue Yeti as a comparison later on. But so that this is basically the Spark Digital. It's very nice and small, and actually something that I immediately thought, oh, that'd be quite good for, is for interviewing, because you can hold it around about here, and you know, you can be interviewing people. It only picks up obviously from this side. If you are getting someone to talk like into the back of it, it's not really going to filter around and be recorded from the front here. So it's not like a two-directional thing where you could have like an interview and someone there, you'd have to sort of aim it at them a little bit to pick up their voice as clear. It's okay. It records quite well. You have a volume and gain knob here, and that glows blue when it's plugged in. Now it has a volume option there, because I will show you on the USB cable which comes with it. Now also what comes with the Spark is this nice little carry bag, which is nice. It's actually very soft, I've got to admit. Very nice soft, and it's a sort of plush inside, very nice and soft. So it'll carry your equipment around with you. It's a nice big bag, can take all the cables that you need. Now the Spark comes with 2 cables, even though it may look like there's a lot more here. So you have 2 cables. This first one, which obviously uses the connector into the bottom of the Spark Digital, then comes out to a 3.5mm jack, which is where you can plug your headphones in. Now, not only will you be able to hear your voice from the Spark Digital, you'll also be able to hear, if you've got it plugged into, say, your computer, you'll be able to hear the, like if you're, I don't know, if you're using it for YouTube gaming commentary or something like that, you'll be able to hear the in-game sound through that as well. So no need to have, you know, a million different wires and what have you. It connects straight in there. However, on this cable, the first cable that comes with it, it has a 30-pin iPad or iPhone connector. Now I don't have a 30-pin iPad. I've got an iPad Air, so it uses the Lightning connector. Now I did try connecting it to it via the 30-pin to Lightning adapter. It didn't seem to work. However, if you go onto Blue's website for the Blue Spark. They actually have an offer at the moment. I think if you bought your Spark Digital before August 1st, 2013, so it's obviously quite a while ago, but if you bought this a while ago and you want to connect it now to you know, your new iPad, you can get one for free. They'll give you the new Lightning cable. So they brought out a dedicated Lightning cable. So obviously for whatever reason it doesn't work through the connector, or at least I've not found it works through the adapter, which is a little bit disappointing, but you know, to be fair, when this was released, this was the technology that Apple was providing. So the reason why they've done this is to kind of promote the fact that it's small. I mean, it is heavy, but it's not exactly a rock. So, you know, you can take it out and about to record with on the go. So if your iPad is, you know, your most portable computer that you take out and about with you, you can record straight to that. So that's quite useful, actually. I think that's a really good feature. The Blue Yeti, unless you buy extra cables for it and what have you, I don't think that can natively connect to an iPad or anything like that. I'm not sure about the power requirements for it, obviously, as well. So this will obviously get its power from the iPad that you plug it into, or iPhone, and then you can record with that. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, actually, and more things are being made more portable, and iPads are actually pretty useful. You know, you've got a reasonable number of apps on there. You've got things like GarageBand on there you can use for audio recording and what have you. It's not the top of the range, you know, professional studio recording apps or anything like that, and it's not going to, you know, make up for that. But I think for portability's sake, that's actually a pretty cool feature that it includes that cable. I'll pop that over there. The cable I'm interested in, because obviously, as I said, it doesn't seem to work with my iPad Air with the adapter, and I don't have a Lightning cable to use with this. You can buy it separately, of course, if you don't qualify for the deal they have on their website. The second cable you get is this one. So obviously you have this cable here, which plugs into the base of the Spark. Then you have a USB cable which goes into your PC, and a 3.5mm input jack, so you can plug your headset in there and hear what's going on at the same time. So that's the cable we're interested in. That plugs in, obviously, to the bottom, and it all plugs into your PC. But what I was thinking is that, you know, even if you're out and about, again, with the iPad cable especially, very good for interviewing. You probably want to get, you can actually get a little pop filter which sits on the top of it and clips around here. So that would actually be quite useful for interviews, because this does quite obviously pick up all the puffs and susses and what have you that you will say without a pop filter. The mic recording, which I'll show you in a moment, I did actually do that with the pop filter from there to give it a kind of, you know, a fair test between the Yeti, because I was using the Yeti with the pop filter, and the Spark Digital. But obviously it's a lot smaller. And that is one thing. When I actually first ordered the Yeti, I didn't actually realise how big it would be. And it is quite a big piece of kit. However, the Yeti does have 4 different recording patterns. This just has the cardioid pattern, so it's perfect for you know, podcasting, one-on-one communication. You can use it for interviews, as I said, because the shape of it naturally lends itself to being used as a microphone, quite traditionally in front of you, and you just, you know, pass it on to the next person or whatever, or aim it roughly at them. It picks up really well, actually. It is actually a bit more sensitive than the Blue Yeti to start with, but that's probably because natively the gain setting is probably slightly higher up. The Blue Yeti gain that I have there, I've tweaked it quite low down, so in the recording you may hear a little bit more background noise with the Spark Digital compared to the Yeti, but obviously you can tweak that here, and obviously you can tweak that in your computer and other settings and what have you as well. So now let's have that mic test, and then we'll wrap up the review with a score. Hi guys, before we get on to the mic review, and whoa, that light is blinding behind my face, I forgot actually I wanted to mention another feature that this has, which I hadn't actually covered. I hadn't turned this round to the back to show you guys. It has something called the focus on-off switch, the focus control of this microphone. Now I'm actually going to have to look at the little booklet that comes with it to read you what it says there, because I don't pretend to understand all of this. But with the switch in the off position, normal mode, the Spark provides increased low-frequency sensitivity for recordings with great impact and definition. With the switch in its on position, focus mode, Spark Digital will provide an even greater clarity and detail. The focus control feature enacts a subtle change to the circuitry of your Spark Digital microphone, which draws focus to the heart of the recorded signal, the mid-range and upper frequencies. Remember, in recording, if it sounds good, it's good, so feel free to experiment with your favourite sound for each source. So again, there's kind of an optional little feature there to again try and improve the frequency and the sound and clarity of your voice. So in the mic test to start with, we'll start off with it off, and then we'll try it with the focus on, see if you guys can hear a difference. In my own testing, I haven't really noticed too much, to be honest, but I'll let you guys decide. To that mic test.
This is a test of the Blue Spark Digital with the focus mode off to start with. We're going to turn it on in a moment to see if we can hear any difference. So now switching over to focus mode on. Okay, so now with the focus mode on, you guys might be able to tell a difference. Personally, I can't hear one at all, but I'm sure those of you that know a little bit more about microphones will appreciate this, and from the tech specs it does sound rather useful. Anyway, we're now going to head on over to the Blue Yeti test for a comparison between the Blue Spark Digital and the Blue Yeti. This is an audio test using the Blue Yeti for my review of the Blue Spark Digital using the cardioid pattern recording. This is the Blue Yeti.
So we've just heard the microphone test there for the Blue Spark Digital and the Blue Yeti. Now to kind of give my final thoughts and a score. Well, final thoughts, this is definitely the more portable mic. It comes with the iPad cable, and of course you can now get a lightning adapter cable. It really does sort of go, hey, I'm small, I've got a carry bag that comes with me, take me with you. I can record on the go with you. The Blue Yeti is a bit more of a stationary beast, and it does have all those various recording patterns which you can switch between, which I do like for the Blue Yeti. It is a nice feature. This just has the cardioid pattern, which to be honest is going to be fine for any kind of podcasting, you know, close-up music recording and what have you. It's going to be fine for all those features. And for £140, it's not really going into too crazy realms of expense for a studio quality microphone that, you know, does lots of other things. To be fair, with each of the Blue microphones, you need to look at kind of what you want to get out of them. I think this is very much aimed at the portability side, whereas the Yeti is aimed at, you know, a more stationary recording device. So on its portability factor, I'm actually very impressed with it. It's nice and small. I really do want to just hold it here and use it as an interviewing mic. I need someone to interview now, but I don't have anyone lined up at the moment. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the size and shape of it. It is very nice to hold. And yeah, as I said, just generally quite impressed with the product for its form factor. However, I would personally stick to the Blue Yeti that I already have, just for those extra recording patterns, the fact that I don't need the extra £40 worth to make it smaller. The Blue Yeti I can angle perfectly where I need it to with the boom arm there. But if portability is your thing, then definitely go for one of these over the Yeti. It's far smaller. I love the iPad connectivity. I think that's really good. Some reviews I read said it was a bit gimmicky, but to be fair, so many people have iPads now. They're so easy to take out and about with you. Why not add in that capability? So I think Blue have done the right thing by offering that with this device. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It is obviously £40 more than the Blue Yeti, and as we heard from that mic test, there's not too much difference. Some of you may not have noticed much at all. From my own use with it, it is slightly bassier with my voice, which is nicer. It's slightly sounds slightly stronger, slightly sexier. I'm not going to lie, my voice does sound slightly sexier with this over the Blue Yeti. But if I go really up close with the Blue Yeti, I get a similar effect. But this kind of natively from a natural recording distance gets a slightly bassier recording to it. But yeah, a 9 out of 10. The price I think is worth it because they've made it smaller and more mobile. The only thing, as I said earlier, I don't like about it is the stand that comes with it. It does feel a little bit... that was the afterthought of the product. I know the stand's not maybe a big issue, but I would like, you know, if you could perhaps, you know, move it around a little bit more easily with that stand and extend it out to get a better recording position for the mic. Because to be honest, if I was going to use this on a day-to-day basis, I would buy the shock mount adapter and connect it up to my my arm there, my studio boom arm. But anyway, that is my review of the Blue Spark Digital. Definitely worth it if you're looking for a portable studio quality condenser mic solution. You can get it from Amazon, as I mentioned, for £140, giving it a 9 out of 10. Thanks for tuning in to my review of the Blue Spark Digital. Link to my review of the Blue Mikey is in the description if you check that out. That would be awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumb up and share on Facebook and Twitter. Anyway, see you all again soon with more reviews. Ciao for now.